There is something different about tonight. You can feel it even if you cannot explain it. The air feels heavier but calmer at the same time. Your mind keeps drifting back to the same thought. What if this is the moment? What if this night matters more than the others? If you are here right now reading this before 9 in the evening, it is not random. You did not stumble into this. You were pulled here, guided here. Because the energy around you is rising, and it is doing so quietly. No noise, no chaos. Just a steady build that reaches its peak before the night fully settles. This is the window where things shift. This is the window where intention becomes magnetic. Do this before 9, and you change how the rest of the night unfolds. Do this before 9, and you stop chasing luck and start matching it. You do not need to understand energy for this to work. You only need to notice yourself. Notice how your thoughts slow down as the day ends. Notice how the pressure from earlier begins to fade. This is not weakness. This is receptivity. In these hours, your mind is less guarded. Your doubt is quieter. That is why so many turning points happen in the evening, not because of the clock itself, but because of what you become as the light fades. You stop forcing. You start feeling. And feeling is where alignment begins. Lottery energy peaks when effort drops. That sounds strange, but it is true. Wins do not arrive through strain. They arrive through readiness. Tonight is about readiness, not about numbers, not about systems, about you being in the right internal place to receive something big. That is why this moment matters. Before 9 is when your subconscious is open enough to accept a new outcome without arguing with it. If you wait until later, you drift into distraction. If you rush earlier, you are still tense. This window is balanced, calm but alert, open but focused. Right now you may notice signs without trying, repeating numbers on screens, a sudden urge to check the time, a thought about a ticket or a place you usually go. These are not instructions. They are confirmations. They tell you that your attention is lining up with opportunity. When that happens, you do not need to do more. You need to listen better. This is where most people miss it. They try to control the moment instead of meeting it. Tonight you will do it differently. Before 9 you are going to pause. Just pause. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time. Let that sink in. So many people carry the belief that they always just missed it, that luck passed them by, that others get chosen first. Drop that idea tonight. It does not serve you anymore. If you were not meant to be here, you would not be reading this. The fact that you are present is already proof that something is lining up. Take a breath, a slow one. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw relax. This is not about calming down for comfort. This is about clearing space. When your body relaxes, your energy becomes cleaner. Cleaner energy attracts clearer outcomes. That is the foundation of everything that follows. You are not asking for permission anymore. You are preparing to receive. Now let us talk about what to do in this window. Keep it simple. Simple is powerful. Complexity creates resistance. Before 9, find a space that feels intentional. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to feel like you chose it. A room, a chair, your car. Somewhere you can sit without being pulled in 10 directions. When you choose a space with awareness, you signal to yourself that this moment matters. That alone shifts your mindset. Sit down and breathe slowly. Not to empty your mind, but to anchor it. With each breath, remind yourself that you are safe to receive more. Many people want abundance, but their nervous system is still braced for disappointment. Tonight you soften that brace. You tell your body that it is allowed to expect good things. This is personal growth in its truest form, learning to feel comfortable with possibility. As the minutes approach 9, speak to yourself internally. Keep the words short, direct, honest. Say that you are ready. Say that you trust the timing. Say that you no longer need proof before belief. This is not pretending. This is choosing a new posture toward life. A posture where you meet opportunity halfway instead of standing back with crossed arms. Here is something important. Motivation does not always feel loud. Sometimes it feels like a quiet decision, a moment where you stop negotiating with doubt. Tonight that decision is enough. You do not need fireworks. You do not need a rush. You need clarity. Clarity says, I am open now. I am available now. I am not postponing my good anymore. If you feel inspired to take a small action, do it. Small is key. Buy the ticket. Write the amount you want on paper. Place it somewhere meaningful, or do nothing at all and simply feel grateful. Action is not about effort. It is about alignment. When action comes from alignment, it feels light. When it comes from fear, it feels heavy. Choose light. Understand this. Growth happens when you trust yourself to respond to moments instead of overthinking them. Tonight is practice, not just for money, but for life. You are training yourself to notice timing and move with it. That skill carries forward. People who win often say they just knew when to act. That knowing is built in moments like this. Before 9, remind yourself of who you are becoming. Not someone desperate for change, but someone comfortable with success. Someone who can imagine winning without immediately listing reasons it might fail. Someone who allows good news to land without flinching. This is the inner shift that makes outer shifts possible. When the clock passes 9, you let it go. You do not cling. You do not monitor. You do not chase signs. Letting go is not giving up. It is trusting that the signal has been sent clearly. Motivation paired with trust creates momentum. Trust alone creates peace. You want both. After 9, move into ease. Do something grounding. Listen to soft music. Write one line of gratitude, or simply lie down and rest. Rest is not laziness. Rest is integration. You have just adjusted your internal setting. Let it settle. When things are meant to move quickly, they do not need constant attention. They need space. Here is where many people sabotage themselves. They replay the moment. They question if they did it right. They look for immediate confirmation. Resist that urge. Confidence is quiet. It does not demand reassurance. Remind yourself that alignment often works behind the scenes first. Roots before results. This practice is not only about tonight. It is about who you are becoming through repetition. Each time you show up for yourself, you strengthen your belief. Each time you honor timing, you grow more intuitive. Each time you choose trust over tension, you raise your baseline. That is real personal growth. That is how motivation becomes sustainable instead of forced. If nothing dramatic happens immediately, that does not mean nothing happened. Shifts begin internally. You may notice better moods, clearer thoughts, a sense of expectation without anxiety. Those are signs of alignment. From there, opportunities appear more easily. Conversations open doors. Ideas arrive at the right time. Luck stops feeling random and starts feeling responsive. Remember this. You do not need to convince the universe. You need to cooperate with it. Tonight was cooperation, a simple yes, a moment of presence. A decision to stop postponing your good. That is powerful, more powerful than any strategy done from fear. Carry this forward. The next time you feel a quiet pull, do not ignore it. The next time timing feels right, trust it. You are learning to recognize your own readiness, and readiness is what turns potential into reality. As you move forward, hold this belief gently. You are allowed to win. You are allowed to receive without struggle. You are allowed to grow into ease. Let that idea settle into your daily life. Let it influence how you make choices. Let it soften how you talk to yourself. Tonight was not about luck alone. It was about alignment, confidence, and self-trust. Money responds to those qualities. So does opportunity. So does peace. Keep choosing them. Keep honoring moments like this. And watch how your relationship with winning begins to change. Now listen closely, because this is where everything settles into place. After alignment comes patience, not the tired kind, not the kind that feels like waiting in line. This is calm patience, the kind that knows something has already shifted even if the outside world looks the same. This is where most people break the flow. They get uncomfortable with stillness. They rush to fill the gap. Tonight you will not do that. Tonight you stay steady. When you wake up after a night like this, you may feel different in a quiet way, lighter, clearer, or strangely neutral. That neutrality is important. It means you are no longer emotionally attached to lack. You are not swinging between hope and disappointment. You are centered. From that center, your decisions improve. You speak differently. You move differently. And opportunities respond to that. Understand this about manifestation and growth. What you expect shapes how you notice. When you expect nothing, you miss everything. When you expect too much, you strain the moment. But when you expect calmly, you stay open. That openness is where chances slip in. Often unnoticed at first. A conversation, a reminder, a sudden idea. These are not coincidences, they are follow-ups. Do not announce your expectation to everyone. Protect it. Energy grows best when it is not constantly exposed to doubt. Keep it simple inside yourself. A quiet knowing. A steady confidence. You do not need approval. You do not need agreement. You only need consistency in how you show up. In the days that follow, notice how often you catch yourself thinking differently. Maybe you stop saying things never work for me. Maybe you pause before dismissing a good thought. These are signs of internal change. Internal change always comes before external proof. Always. That is not motivational talk. That is how awareness works. You may feel tempted to test the universe, to demand signs, to say if this is real, then show me now. Resist that. Testing comes from insecurity. Trust comes from strength. You are building strength now. Let that be enough. If doubt appears, do not fight it. Fighting gives it energy. Acknowledge it and return to your center. Say to yourself, I already aligned. I already chose trust. I do not need to redo the moment. Repetition without anxiety is powerful. Repetition with anxiety cancels itself. This is also where discipline meets ease. Discipline not as force, but as consistency, going to bed with calm thoughts, waking up without rushing, taking actions that feel natural instead of pressured. These habits tune your life to receive better outcomes. Money responds to this. So does clarity. So does timing. Remember that growth is not about becoming someone else overnight. It is about shedding what no longer fits. Old beliefs, old reactions, old narratives. Tonight you stepped out of one of them. The belief that you are always just outside the door. You are not outside anymore. You are inside the room, learning how to sit comfortably there. If you play the lottery again, do it from this place. No tension, no desperation, just presence. Presence is powerful. It keeps you from scattering your energy. It keeps your decisions clean. Clean decisions lead to cleaner results. Even if the win comes later than expected, the shift you made is not lost. It compounds. Each aligned moment builds on the last. This is how momentum forms. Quietly, steadily, without drama. One night leads to another. One choice leads to another. Until one day something lands and you realize you were ready long before it arrived. Carry this with you, not as pressure, not as a rule, but as a reminder. Timing matters. So does how you meet it. Tonight you met it with awareness, with calm, with trust. That matters more than you know. And if nothing else, take this truth with you. You are not late. You are not behind. You are learning to arrive fully. When you do that consistently, life responds differently. Opportunities feel less random. Wins feel less shocking. They start to feel like a natural extension of who you have become. That is the real peak. Not just energy, but alignment. Not just hope, but readiness. Stay there. Keep practicing. And let what is meant for you find you without resistance.